Let me follow up on a couple of items that we've discussed before, Barbara. The first is the Work Opportunity Tax Credit. And you told me, didn't you, that it was extended by the so-called PATH Act?
Yes, it was extended for 5 years. As you know, in order to claim the Work Opportunity Credit, you have to submit Form 8850 to the State Workforce Agency within 28 days of the first day of employment. This enables the state to certify that the worker you've hired belongs to one of the targeted groups.
Well, if they didn't extend the credit until 2016, how could you apply to your state workforce agency in a timely manner for the employees you hired last year?
Well, that's the point. You couldn't. So the IRS initially gave some relief by saying that for workers hired starting January 1 of 2015 through the end of May of this year, or for workers in the new targeted group for long-term unemployed hired from January of this year through May 21st, you'd have until the end of June to submit the Form 8850. The IRS has now given even more time. So for all the workers hired by August 31st, 2016, you have until September 28th, 2016 to submit the Form 8850, and that will be treated as timely.
So the September 28th submission deadline really applies to anyone you hired last year as well as anyone who has been hired this year. Now, what can businesses or the tax advisors do to avoid the crunch of trying to get former employees to sign an IRS Form 8850 now?
Well, that's right. But, you know, it's always good business practice to have employees sign the Form 8850 at the same time they're filling out their other paperwork, the W-4, the I-9. This way you will have the paperwork ready and just, again, watch the 28-day deadline for submission to the State Workforce Agency.